The evening Mrs. Ode said, "I am sorry, something changed on our street again." Not loudly, not all at once, just little by little. Mrs. Okoro held her hand for a long time before letting go. Neither woman cried. They were too old for big drama, but the look on their faces said enough. After that day, Mrs. Ode began visiting every morning. At first, she came with small things, a bowl of soup, fresh pepper, sometimes just hot water. Mrs. Okoro never refused her. People noticed. The same neighbors who once whispered about the missing ring now watched the two women sit together again, this time more quietly than before. The laughter was softer. The arguments were fewer, but there was something stronger there now. Care. Every evening, the chairs came out again. 4 chairs. But only 3 were used. Mr. Ode would sit in his usual place, often silent, watching the road. Mrs. Ode and Mrs. Okoro would sit beside him, sometimes talking, sometimes not. The 4th chair stayed empty. Nobody touched it. Not children. Not visitors. Not even by mistake. It became Mr. Okoro's chair. And somehow, everyone understood. Months passed. One Saturday morning, I saw Mrs. Okoro sweeping both compounds. Not just hers. Both. At first, I thought maybe I was seeing wrong. But then Mrs. Ode came out, laughed softly, and said, "Leave my side for me now." Mrs. Okoro replied, "Your side is my side too." It was such a small thing, but I stood there smiling like a fool, because on our street, healing did not come in speeches. It came in sweeping, in shared pepper, in borrowed salt, in sitting beside someone when the evening felt too long. Then Harmattan came. Cold mornings, dusty air, dry skin. That was when Mr. Ade started coughing. At first, it was small, just old man coughing, people said. But soon, he stopped sitting outside for long. Then one day, he did not come out at all. This time, it was Mrs. Okoro who crossed the compound. She did not know. She entered like family. And maybe by then, she was. From that day, she cared for him the same way Mrs. Ode had cared for her husband. She cooked soft food. She cleaned. She sat by his bed when Mrs. Ode needed rest. Sometimes, late in the evening, I would pass their window and see both women inside, side by side, speaking in low voices while Mr. Ode slept. Loss had made room for a different kind of love. Not romance. Not friendship like before. Something deeper. Something built from regret and second chances. One afternoon, when the sun was low, Mr. Ode asked to be helped outside. The women brought him slowly. He sat in his chair and looked at the empty one beside him. Then he smiled. "You kept his seat." Mrs. Okoro nodded. Mr. Ode looked at both women and said, "Good." That was all. Just one word. But his face looked peaceful. He died 3 weeks later. And our street became quiet again. But not the same kind of quiet. Not the bitter kind. This quiet felt gentle, like rest. After his burial, only 2 women remained. 2 old women, 2 neighbors, 2 friends who had once wasted precious time. From then on, every evening, they still brought out the chairs. 4 chairs. But now only 2 were used. One for Mrs. Ode. One for Mrs. Okoro. The other 2 stayed empty, side by side. Some evenings, they talked about their husbands. Some evenings, they laughed. And sometimes, they simply watched the road in silence. Years later, when people passed our street, they often asked why those extra chairs were always outside. I used to answer for them. Love lives there, I would say. Not the kind that shout. Not the kind that is perfect. The kind that forgives too late, but stays anyway.